It's a perfect situation.
Hello, this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead. A few days ago I did some harvesting from my garden, and I'll put a picture now of the beetroots which were part of my harvest. This isn't all my beetroots, these are just the bigger ones. And I left them all whole and left about 2-3 inches on top the stalks. They've been sitting like this in the bottom of my refrigerator for a few days, so I'm going to wash them off and boil them for about 20 to 30 minutes. These beetroots have had about 20-25 minutes and now they're fork tender, so I'm just going to soak them to help cool them down a bit. And yes, I do more than one thing when I'm in here. I make full use of my time, and I can already feel that they're starting to slip off, the skins off. These are the two bowls I'm using, and as you can see, just rubbing pulls the skin off. Now, there's always little things in your garden which can eat into your food, so I am just trimming that bit off. Oh, see, it just comes away in my hand. So any bits that you don't like, the tops and the bottom, and that's fine, that beetroot is. So I'll put that in some cold water. Move on to the next one. As you see, skins are just sliding off completely. I have diced my beetroot up, and you can't see it too well because light just doesn't want to, but it's diced up. I've got about 6 cups of diced beetroot here. There is approximately 5 cups of thinly sliced red cabbage there. I have here a medium red onion diced up and 2 red bell peppers. And it smells lovely already. To that I'm adding 4.5 cups of white vinegar and 1 tablespoon of salt, the pickling salt that you can get, that you can use for canning. I need about 2 cups of granulated sugar. That's 1, 2 cups of granulated sugar, and then I'm going to bring this slowly to a boil and let it boil for about 10 minutes or so, making sure that everything in it is hot through. So I'll take this to the stove now. My jars have been sterilising in where I'm using for my water bath canning, I have, let me move it back. Ignore all the dirty dishes around. As I've told you before, I do several things. These are for the chickens, but I have now all that beetroot and vinegar and everything in my saucepan. As you can see, it has stained the breadboard. That's why I used an older one. And now it's just a case of loading up your jars. So I've got 2 jars out of the canner, and see, first spoonful, I'll tip it. So ladle this one in. Now we want it about half an inch, well, we want it, not about, we want it half an inch headspace. So while that's that's keeping that jar warm, I'll do this one, and it's just, I'm jiggling it around a bit to try and debubble, and it's made more space. So let's get some of this, and I know this is nice because I made it a few years ago, and when I did a garden and used my own beetroots, and it was lovely. So that's about it. Now we want the juice, the vinegary juice. I'm a messy pup, and we want it about half an inch headspace. And there is deep bubble, and can you see how much it's gone down? It's brought up the air bubbles. It's why we debubble. I think, let's have a little look what my headspace is like. It's miles off. Well, I'm not going to add more juice, just put in some more of the stuff and it will take it up. See if that one goes down. And that's not quite, so I'll put a little bit more juice in this time. That's it, that's exactly. And as you do with pressure canning, which I prefer, clean, well, I use kitchen towel and clean your rims. Now that's just the one jar, and look how much you get off it. So that shows you how much could stop your seal. Screen because it's hot. Put the top on, get a band, screw that down just until it starts moving, and that's perfectly fine. And that, you can either put them individually in your water bath canner, or you can do them all in one go at the end. So I'll carry on and do these, and I'll get back to you. I now have 6 pints of the red relish in here, and I use the headspace guide as a guide to whether or not my jars are covered, because you need them covered by at least 1 inch of water. Now I can put this on the jars, and I don't know if this camera will pick it up. I can see it will come to there, which is nearly 2 inches, so I know I've got enough. If there wasn't quite enough water, I've got the water that I boil the tattle lids in, so that can go in as well. But what we do now is bring it up to a nice good boil. When it comes back up to a boil, that's when you start your time for your processing, and in this case it's 15 minutes. Keep it at a nice good steady boil for 15 minutes. So I'll wait for it to come back to boil now. There is 6 jars of that red root relish. They've just come out the corner, but I know it's going to be nice. I did this a few years ago when I last grew a garden, and it was gorgeous. Well, that's 6 jars, 6 pint jars. Thank you. Bye.
It's a